Well, they've gone global, have they not, Brian? Global conditions used to be number 4 on their list, behind domestic inflation, behind domestic growth, behind financial conditions, and now, it seems to be global market conditions, not just China. I know you've talked about that in the last few minutes, but emerging markets in general, and the strength of the dollar, which has basically put pressure on those, global economies, which reverberates back into the U.S. So one of the reasons for not hiking, I think, was that they didn't want to continue to increase the strength of the dollar, which would reverberate back into the United States. Remember, industrial production in the United States, because of a strong dollar, basically has been negative for 4 to 5 of the last 7 or 8 months. And so the U.S. may be doing fine in terms of services, but because of that strong dollar, I think the Fed has hesitated.
As I've said before, every meeting is a live meeting where the committee can make a decision to move to change our target for the federal funds rate. That certainly includes October. As you know, and I've stressed previously, were we to decide to do that, we would call a press briefing, and you've participated in an exercise to make sure that you would know how to participate in that press briefing should it happen. So, yes, October, it remains a possibility. We don't want to respond to market turbulence. The Fed should not be responding to the ups and downs of the markets, and it is certainly not our policy to do so. But when there are significant financial developments, it's incumbent on us to ask ourselves what is causing them. And, of course, while we can't know for sure, it seemed to us as though concerns about the global economic outlook were drivers of those financial developments.
The algorithm's going crazy?
The algorithms, when they get switched back on, algorithms usually are switched off when the Fed makes its statement because they're so difficult to discern, which is why you saw a delay and very dramatic movements. But I owe my friend Art Cashin a glass of well-marinated ice cubes that he called this correctly. It was against. I firmly believe that they should have raised already, that this is another missed opportunity. But we're also going to have to take a look at the idea that they'll be able to raise rates when there is no meeting. That is still a technique that can be used by the Federal Reserve. They don't have to call a meeting, but I mean, the uncertainty that it leaves in the marketplace is very dramatic, and she just took the mantle of those that believe our central bank is the World Bank. She just claimed that title.
I'm surprised at the language, that the absence of notable improvement in the employment situation in the United States and so much focus overseas. Not that that's illegitimate. It is definitely legitimate. They go there. I'm not surprised they didn't rate. I said it before the decision, I hope they would raise them. Now we start again. Uncertainty. When they're going to raise rates.
And Bob, this is the issue, okay? And I want to say I was wrong. I thought we'd get a rate hike. I blew it. Fine, whatever. Here's the problem. The Fed keeps citing uncertainty. Is the Fed itself the greatest uncertainty?
No question about it. I think if you make a list of the reasons that we had consternation in the capital markets in August, you have to put uncertainty around the Fed. You'd have one Fed governor said, we'll probably raise them. The next speech was, no, not really, and all that back and forth. So, yeah, the uncertainty of the Fed is on the negative list, without question.